Right now, weather forecasts are warning of heavy rain in some parts of the country and in KZN this weekend. This comes just over a month since devastating floods in that province claimed hundreds of lives and caused immense damage, amounting to billions of rand. For what to expect this weekend, no matter where you are in South Africa, let's speak to senior forecaster at the South African Weather Service, Puseletso Mofokeng. Thank you very much, Mr. Mofokeng, for your time here on All Angles. Now, firstly, of course, a lot of people's concern would be KZN. 100% rain expected there, I believe. Is it the flooding type?
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, Masego, and good afternoon to the viewers as well. We are actually expecting an 80% chance of showers and thunder showers across KwaZulu-Natal. However, we have to recognize the fact that other areas will also see heavy rain. We'll also see some flooding and obviously the impact of the wind, especially here in Gauteng and some parts in Limpopo and Mpumalanga. So those are the areas that we shouldn't forget by mainly focusing on KwaZulu-Natal. And yes, today isn't really much of the events happening in KwaZulu-Natal. We are expecting some isolated to scattered showers and the thunder showers over the province. There is no threat of any severe thunderstorms, but we'll keep monitoring. But as of tomorrow, I think much of KwaZulu-Natal will see conditions being quite hectic. We're expecting a level 2 over much of the province, but along the coastal areas, we have given level 5. So we'll keep monitoring and we'll actually update the forecast, maybe improve that level if need be.
Just explain to us the levels once again. What do you mean by level 2 and level 5 in terms of the danger of flooding and thunderstorms?
What we mean by level 2, yes, you would still get the same thing as you get on level 5, but the scale differs. With level 5, it's more areas, it's more wide area instead of just perhaps one area. In other words, if, for example, a town or a village is to be affected, the impact could be the same. What differ with the level is that the scale, in other words, how big it is, that's what differ. But otherwise, itself, it's just one and the same thing. That's why we are still going for the possibility for heavy rain and flooding. The low-lying bridges, it's one concern. Of course, there's also another threat of life. It doesn't only start from tomorrow. Today, we're talking about the Eastern Cape. Those conditions are expected over the Eastern Cape. We're already seeing amounts in excess of 20 millimeters. I think some of them are now approaching 50s. So we're actually monitoring Eastern Cape today. So even though we have the emphasis of KwaZulu-Natal for tomorrow, let's not forget that today we are still expecting some extreme thunderstorms in the Eastern Cape, the eastern areas of the Northern Cape, as well as the western half of the Free State. So basically, those areas should not be forgotten at all.
Of course. And in terms of it starting tomorrow, when are we expecting it to clear?
Oh, that's a very good question. As we go to tomorrow, I think we'll get 80% here in Gauteng in the morning. I think as we go into the evening hours, we're going to see clearance, rapid clearance basically. So less and less of rainfall will be seen by the evening tomorrow over much of the country. But we still can expect some isolated thunderstorms in the eastern areas of Limpopo and Mpumalanga on Sunday. So again, we also do expect some rainfall to remain in KwaZulu-Natal on Sunday. I think the day when it will be completely clear all across the country will be on Tuesday. In fact, for the next days after Tuesday, it will be generally clear in the next week. Otherwise, I think the main focus of the weather service this week is on this weekend, where we have some impacts expected.
Mr. Mofokeng, I know I'm asking you to forecast for me further than where we are now, but usually in May, at least when I was growing up, winter would start in May. It would be very cold conditions from May, but we've had quite warm days so far for most parts of May. How is it looking for us in June, July? Is it going to be very cold weather, more rain, which we normally don't get in winter in South Africa, but these days we do?
Well, the question by itself is very good. For instance, I wouldn't agree with you that we have basically warmer conditions. Remember, there had been a low pressure that was sitting overhead over the past weekend. It's been cold somewhat over west over Gauteng. And it's the reason why those temperatures remain in the low 20s is because we have winter conditions. As of this, before we go further, I think from this evening, there's also a likelihood of some light snowfall on the northeastern areas of the Eastern Cape, including parts of Lesotho. And then in Lesotho, going to tomorrow, the snowfall can be actually heavy, more especially on the eastern mountains. But again, you will see areas like Kwakwa and those areas like Bergville also having some snowfall by Saturday. So basically, regarding what is to be expected in the few months to come, because we are in the La Nina situation, so those upper waves will continue bringing the cold conditions over us, and we'll continue seeing rainfall from time to time. But as of next week, from Tuesday, at least in the next week, there is no chance of rainfall. But because of the La Nina, the systems, the upper waves will continue penetrating the country, will continue bringing cold conditions. And yes, in some point or in some times, we are going to see snowfall actually being quite a problem over the country. But those it's not the forecast that I can specify which day it will be. But because La Nina, we are going to see those conditions coming.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us and giving us that explanation. Senior forecaster at the South African Weather Service, Puseletso Mofokeng, telling us there that we can expect more snowfall to be a problem in South Africa as the weeks progress.